with Johnny?
In the Pentland Hills. Pentland Hills are a kind of local training area, the regular stomping ground for hard work. We got a lot of work done here. We trained for Nevis here. I've trained here, like I said earlier on, I think I've trained here the best part of 14 years. Since I live close, it's not far from me, and it's great. There's enough of a challenge for us to be able to push really, really hard without actually having to go very far, so I can't think of anything more ideal. Yeah, I was worried about that today, mate, because last week when we sat and did that interview, I was really struggling to breathe, wasn't I? And I hadn't gotten much better for about 3-4 days after that. But new antibiotics for a few days there. This is the 7th now, so we're about a week and a bit away from where we were last. And it's actually feeling all right. I can feel it's harder than it should be. It's harder work than it normally is. But then again, I haven't really been training for about 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks now, so it would be hard anyway. So confidence is actually high because I would expect this to be hard, and I actually thought it was going to be harder, so the fitness is still lurking in the background somewhere, which is quite satisfying. Arctic's 7 weeks now, actually about six and a bit. I'll travel out in about 6 weeks, I think, so we're knocking on the door of it. So training's getting really specific now. It's more about durability, kind of strategizing a little bit about, you know, what I'm doing with the load, a little bit of breathing pressure because getting air in is going to be different. So I need to test it in actual fact, but I've built up a really, really good body of fitness, and I'm feeling great. Big shout out to my mate Alex Viada for all his help there so far. Yeah, I'm feeling good, but now we get real specific, so I'm going to be trying to mimic conditions as much as possible. This is day one of that. I think anybody who's looking at endurance, extreme endurance, which I guess this is, properly, is going to want to have strength work in there. You need to be strong, you need to be durable, you need to be physically robust. There's lots of arguments backwards and forwards about whether strength training, ridiculous ideas that it will bulletproof your joints and all the rest, which it doesn't do. There's no data there, but there is a good amount of data to suggest that if I work harder, let's say I work harder on something like squat strength or just leg strength, quad strength, however I use that modality, I'm therefore going to be making myself more capable of managing eccentric loads. So coming down the hills, carrying a heavy load. So it adds to it hugely. I mean, for me, the hybrid thing is about being able to do those things in isolation, as well as one kind of comparatively reflecting well on the other. So, you know, I don't just want to be able to do this extreme ultra and have strength to lean into it. I want to be able to come off it and still be able to demonstrate really beyond usual strength, or beyond pedestrian strength. No, I'm not yet, mate. No, but I'm looking at it, even from now, from like this moment, I'm looking at it with different eyes. This morning when I woke up, I was worried about this. You know, worried about how it was going to make me feel, whether I'd be able to kind of. This is, as you know already, there's some real tough gradients here. You know, and we're not actually into the worst of it. God bless you. So you're going to feel this regardless. But I was worried that I was going to have to stop, start, and that it would position me in terms of where I felt my training would have been like 4 or 5 months ago. And I haven't felt like that, which immediately changes my mindset because I've been worried. You know, we're six and a bit weeks out, and I've had the best part of a month off. That's bad, you know, it's worrisome. I spoke to Alex yesterday about that, and he did a great job of kind of putting my mind at ease as far as where my fitness was overall. We know and understand the scientific detail about the kind of degradation of certain fitness values, so how quickly your aerobic capacity is going to drop off, how quickly your strength is going to drop off. Probably power production or demonstration is going to drop off the fastest, but I'm not really trying to demonstrate absolute power anyway, so we're kind of good on certain parameters. And it was good to have that conversation and kind of throw that backwards and forwards at each other. That has made me feel better, but actually nothing makes me feel better than getting out, moving. I'm carrying a reasonable load today, enough to test me a bit. And I feel better than most. I know I could perform better than most on this hill, and that's great. That's genuinely great.
I think that comes from years of just doing it.
It does. I genuinely think it does. I think there's an underpinning, without sounding egotistical about it. There's an underpinning a couple of decades. I was going to say centuries there. A couple of decades of at least of athletic capability and training and all the rest of it. Like I said before, I grew up in the hills and moving around and all the rest of it, so I've kind of got a leg up. Maybe, you know, I know my dad's fit as hell, my old granddad was fit, so we've got a little genetic kick there. So yeah, there's a lot to lean back on. But it doesn't matter who you are, you take a few weeks off. We've got athletes and people, and we're no different. You take even a few days off feeling ill and you think, oh God, what's going to happen? This is terrible, you know. You fall off your routine and you think it's all gone to fuck, you know. So I think jumping back into it today, not the hardest test in the world, but one that I can measure really well. I've been on these hills so much. I know how I should feel here, how I should feel here, how I should feel here. And you know, if you use a scale of 1 to 10, if I normally feel 10 at this point in terms of feeling great, I'm actually about a 7 or an 8 anyway, so I expected to feel like a 3 or a 4 out of 10 in terms of overall enjoyment, whereas, if that makes sense. But you know, I feel good, and I don't feel as far away as I did do, which is fucking excellent, really. Having come out today, as we said before, it was a retest to see how much I need to do to rebuild from here, how hard it's going to be to claw back that time in terms of overall prep. And actually, 2 or 3 very key points on the hill, key areas where I know how hard I should be working and I can measure against previous performance and all the rest of it. I really wasn't far off the mark. We did a little bit of sprinting at the top. I used the royal we were lazing about behind me. And it felt good. It felt good. I was able to open it up. I don't think I was hitting full capacity, but I didn't need to. I just needed to know that my system was operational again. So I've come into the day fearing that I would have a literally and figuratively a really hard uphill battle between now and February for the Arctic, and the gradient figuratively has just dropped back a little bit in my favour. So I feel good, mate. I feel good. I feel, you can probably tell in me, having driven in here with me and all the rest of it, I'm elated from it because I feel much more confident than I did this morning. I got this morning palpably feeling or experiencing my lack of confidence and that kind of fear that revolves around that worry, that anxiousness. And now I feel very different. I still have those kind of concerns, but I feel very, very different about them. So all in all, very positive. Here's Johnny! Fucking hell. I'm bringing Wyle back in the Arctic, in the bath, in the front room. Ooh, it's amazing. It's like when you've got a glass. Doing that around and go.
Psychopath.
It's nice to look at from a distance. When you get closer, it's like somebody coming at you with a yard brush. Get out of it! on the Johnny and Scott show.
How are you feeling now you're a famous YouTuber?
I'm pretty, I expected it, to be honest, mate. When I wake up in the mornings, I see me in the mirror. And now others just see that same magic. I mean, you've facilitated it somewhat, I guess. Somewhat.